Money will come over time. You don't get rich overnight, and the money in itself doesn't make you happy. What's always worthwhile looking at is diversification. Not putting all your eggs in one basket, not getting too much exposure in one sector. Like if you're making a bet, essentially it can work out really well, but it also can work out the exact opposite way. Looking at how money is managed between a couple or for an individual, basically setting some realistic expectations and working towards those. Like everybody likes to talk about their wins, but nobody talks about their losses. It would be great if people were a bit more honest talking about money they would have also lost, because it comes down to you're portraying an image that is not necessarily true. There's no such thing as a miracle when it comes to financial advice. One day I hope to get to this position, not having to work for money anymore.
Hello and welcome to the Real Biz Life Chronicles, where we discuss all things business, branding and life from the Horizon Digital podcast recording studio here in Perth. I'm your host, Tracy Fryer, the founder of Design Studio Perth. And because Design Studio Perth is dedicated to helping business owners grow with distinction through captivating branding and design, we're offering all our listeners a free brand discovery. So if you find yourself frustrated with your current brand, or you may just have a logo, use the link in the show notes below to book in a time to have a chat. The Real Biz Life Chronicles is on a mission to become one of Australia's leading business podcasts, but in order to do that, we please need your help. If you do enjoy today's episode, we please ask that you like and subscribe to our channels below, or simply share this with a fellow business owner who has financial freedom on their goal list and wants to create more wealth. What kind of person packs up their life, moves across the world, and starts a business in a country where they know no one? The kind who doesn't wait for permission. He didn't arrive in Australia with a network or a safety net, but within a decade, he built a respected financial advisory from the ground up. This isn't a story about numbers. It's a story about guts, vision, and the quiet discipline it takes to bet on yourself day after day. Known for being measured, meticulous, and deeply human, he has a rare ability to make people feel that their ideas matter, even when he's the most experienced person in the room. Also, his golf game is way better than he admits. His happy place, somewhere between his back garden and a spreadsheet. This episode, it's about risk, reinvention, and building a life you believe in on your own terms. Let's get into it. Andreas Kettemann, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks, Andreas. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, same here. It's really great to be here.
I know I hassled you for quite some time to come on the show.
Yeah, we finally made it.
Yeah, sorry, not sorry. Andreas, you moved to Australia in 2011. What was that transition like for you, both personally and professionally?
So the reason I came to Australia was for a year of study abroad at Notre Dame. And then somehow I kind of ended up staying here.
Nice. And what made you stay?
Like after a year, I tried to get some recognition for courses that we've done in Australia, in Germany, and then my university in Germany wasn't very helpful with the recognition, so I thought I asked the other way around.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame was very helpful and quite forthcoming with that. And then it was a simple decision around if you stay another year longer, you can get a bachelor's degree. Once I've done the bachelor's degree, it was sort of like, you stay another year longer, you can do that.
Slowly you got roped in.
I slowly got roped in.
Yeah. And so you did your degree, and then did you go work for someone afterwards?
Yeah, so I'm probably the last generation of financial planners who didn't make a conscious decision in terms of working in financial planning. When I was at uni and we had to do like an internship unit. And I was really lucky, and I found an internship at a financial planning practice.
Yeah.
And that helped me to get into the industry and get to know what the industry is. It was very, very different back then what it is as what it is today. So there has been a lot of legislation and all this sort of stuff been thrown around. So that's how I ended up getting in there.
Yeah. And then in terms of starting 3D Wealth Advisory, what kind of called you to start your own business?
After working for a few different businesses, I essentially got presented with an opportunity to start a financial planning business within an accounting firm. That did work for approximately 5 years, and then we decided to part ways and take our respective businesses into separate, completely different directions. So when I left the accounting firm, I wanted to create something that focuses on like more of a niche of clients rather than being a business that's built on a scale model. And that's when 3D Wealth came into existence.
And Andreas, I kind of feel, since I met you at WA Leaders, it must be about 3 years ago now, hey?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like you're the stealth mover. You're a powerhouse of a business owner, and you just seem to be so like chilled most of the time. How do you maintain that? Do you ever get flustered or phased?
I do, like sometimes, like I have my moments, but I generally try to keep it together.
Yeah, because not everyone, myself included, can do that.
It's sometimes it is a hard job running a small business. But and I certainly have my moments. I complain to my wife.
Oh, so. Right. That was my next question. I was going to say, well, where do those moments happen? Because every time I see you, you just seem to be so happy, just kind of going with the flow. Nothing seems to faze you as well, which is really great to see.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, I generally, like mindset is a very, very important thing, and mindfulness that comes along with that. And basically, and also being grateful for what you have. So that is quite important, and I try to remind myself of that quite a lot.
Do you have like a morning practice that helps you sort of implement that into your day, or?
I have breakfast every morning.
Oh, good.
and usually, so my wife and I we have breakfast, and I make the coffees, and we have coffee.
Well trained, hey?
Yeah. So it's a little morning routine there.
And that's kind of your morning of sort of gratitude and focus.
Yeah.
And for our listeners, Andreas, perhaps you could describe how it is that you work with your clients and who is it that you serve.
So the underlying philosophy of 3D Wealth is there are 3 parts to life: your professional life, your financial life, and your personal life. And it's simple as that. Like, pick 2 you're going to be good at. So what we do for our clients, we take that burden of managing or making financial decisions and managing finances and doing the paperwork that's associated with that away from them, and so that they can focus on their careers, their businesses, their family, their friends, rather than having to worry about what is happening with money, and are they making the right money decisions at the right time. In terms of clients, like most of our clients, there would be small business owners, professionals, doctors, dentists, engineers, lawyers, accountants. So quite a range of basically white collar professionals.
And in what year did you start 3D Wealth?
So We did start 2022.
And I believe you've just taken on a new team member as well, which is exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the team has been consistently growing, and we're basically, our goal is to keep the business growing at the current rate. We don't want to grow it too quickly because we're focused on like retaining the existing relationships that we have with our clients within the business, without compromising the quality of the service we're providing.
And Andreas, you mentioned there's 3 parts to life. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It was business, personal, and finance. Was that right?
Personal, professional, and
Personal,
financial,
professional, and financial. And did you say only focus on 2?
Yeah.
So why is that? I have to know because I'm like all 3.
Yeah. So when you think about your friends and family and the people who you know, there's always they're always good at 2 of those.
Got it.
When you're talking relationship breakdowns these days, the most common reason for relationship breakdowns is finances.
Yeah.
People not being on the same page about it.
Yeah, I've read that.
So and basically having a plan in place, having an agreement, having a strategy that's there. Probably having a third person who gives an
external view.
External view takes away a lot of the arguments and a lot of the complications that money can cause within a relationship.
And why do you think finances are the sort of the thing that breaks up most relationships?
Finances, it comes down to this. Money in itself can have a very, very different meaning to everybody. So when what does money mean to you?
Yeah.
With this, for some people, it's freedom. Some people it's independence. Some choice. Some people see it as a mechanism of control.
Yeah.
And usually it is very rarely that 2 people who have the same sort of underlying money philosophies meet, and find an easy agreement in terms of how to manage finances. The other thing that plays into this massively is how we've been brought up by our parents and how they have essentially taught us to manage money.
Yeah.
And there's research been done in terms of what kind of long-term impact this has, and it's been done with high and low income earners, and even with high income earners. It literally doesn't matter what they're earning.
Really? Yeah.
They're still not going to be able to accumulate wealth because if it's ingrained in them that they always spend every single last dollar, they're never going to get anywhere. So
yeah, makes sense.
And that's something that's taught essentially to us by our parents. And when you look back, like a lot of money behaviors are reflected in that. It's usually like rich parents have rich and successful kids, whereas poor parents have poor and basically all it gets passed on.
As a pattern, yeah. And when would be the best time, I guess, as a couple to see someone like yourself? Is it, I guess, obviously not the first date, but when you get married or before you get married? Because I guess, I'm just thinking of my own relationships. It does kind of cause a conflict if you've had very, very different upbringings, right?
Yeah, it does. Definitely cause some issues. So I think it is worthwhile coming in for conversation before making major financial decisions.
Like getting married.
Like getting married, buying a house, anything they like. Yeah.
And for our business owners out there, when would be a great time to do that, do you reckon? Is it when you're making sort of enough profit? Is it when you kind of start your business? Because a lot of business owners will have financial freedom as a goal.
Yeah. So with business owners, what we find is, and I'm not excluding myself here. So we all work we all work very, very hard.
Yeah.
And it usually takes around 4 to 5 years before business becomes like successful as a business. I would generally say after 3 years, most people would earn what they would earn as an employee, and then usually after 4 to 5 years, people would earn significantly more. Usually what happens at that stage then is people do two things.
Yeah.
They buy a very expensive house and a very expensive car.
Yes.
Because there's this general feeling around, I deserve this now.
That's so true. Not pointing any fingers, but yeah.
So the perfect time to come and see us is probably in that sort of third year.
Okay.
So we can basically put together a plan and a strategy in terms of how to deal with that increase in income and that increase in earnings, and without going down a pathway where that income the increase in income translates directly through to a increase in personal spending.
Yes.
So which it most of the time it does, unfortunately.
Yeah. And for the business owners out there who know that they potentially have been ignoring their finances, they bought the Lamborghini, they know that wasn't the best decision, what would your advice be to them besides coming to see you guys?
Live within your means. So from a spending perspective, make sure this is actually sustainable, and then also build up some other income stream besides the business, because in the day and age of AI, we never know at what point a business becomes obsolete, and there have been many examples over the past couple of years that has basically revolutionized business models.
And Andreas, what does money mean to you?
Money means to me freedom and independence, and the ability to live my life the way I want to live it without having to worry about being poor when old.
Yeah. And what do you feel is the biggest misconception, I guess, business owners have around money?
That it always will be coming.
Yes.
So that is probably the biggest one.
So I guess that's where that planning would really like have the best impact. So when your cash flow is low, you can kind of, when it's high, should I say, you can kind of manage that a bit better for those kind of dips.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's essentially save in the good times, so you get something in the bad times.
Yeah.
And then also working towards building up a different income stream other than the business. So may it be through real estate, share portfolios, ETFs, so managed funds, anything outside. So the reliance on that income from the business and from work reduces over time.
Yeah. And I know as humans, sometimes we do want that instant reward, but let's talk about the power of compounding. I'm realizing the power of this in my own life, whether it's fitness, business, whatever the case may be. How do you guys communicate that to a client? Like what decisions you make now, 20 years down the line, could have you in X position? Do you kind of do like a plan for them? Or?
Yeah. So we do a plan, and we do modeling, and we show what small changes can have as an impact in a very long period of time. I mean, generally, you always need money to make money.
Yeah,
it's an old rule. So it comes on what it comes down to is to the creation of surplus cash flow. And then directing that surplus cash flow not into lifestyle, but into something that compounds and increases in value over time. So usually we work towards around every 10 years, you would say underlying asset values double.
Yeah.
So that's the power of compounding. So it's a hard sort of concept to visualize, because like when you think about Perth housing prices, they've gone up significantly over the last couple of years.
They have, yeah.
But when you stretch this out over a 20-year period of time, it's actually still quite reasonable in terms of the long-term increases.
And I'd love to know your thoughts on the barefoot investor and his buckets, because I know I started that a while ago. What's your views on that?
I think it probably comes down to financial education.
Yeah.
And when you think about the school system or the whole education system, everything focuses around training you to be good at your job.
Yeah.
It trains you to show you how to make money. And unfortunately, nobody ever tells you how to spend it. So
true. I buy a lot of shoes.
Yeah. So you basically know how to make money, but you have no idea how much you should actually be spending. And the barefoot investor, it definitely has a lot of value in terms of explaining to people how things are working. So there's however, it's always take this with a grain of salt what's written in there. It works for what we find. It works for relatively simple circumstances. Once you get into the higher income brackets, or once you're running a business and you have to juggle things like quarterly bases and tax obligations, and
that's a huge bucket,
and all that sort of stuff, it reaches it becomes, as a solution, it doesn't work anymore. It's too simple of a solution.
Yeah, so you need something more complex.
Yeah.
And Andreas, I heard you have always had a fascination with the share market. Where did that come from?
I actually don't know really. so I've been fascinated by shares and money from a very very young age onwards. I think I bought some shares when I probably was 13 or 14 or something like that.
So quite young.
Yeah, it was. Let me think what it was. That was the basically German Telecom, like the equivalent to Telstra.
Right.
And I think after I've bought them, they absolutely tanked. So.
Oh no! Great first experience.
Great first experience. So it learns you to work with the discomfort of the.
True. So you were about 13 or 14, and were your parents sort of into finances, or was it just something that's kind of always been in your blood?
My parents probably not too much. So they had some shares and all this sort of stuff. But in terms of being really into finances, they were not. Yeah.
So something you've always been drawn to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what pushed you to finally start 3D Wealth? Was there something was there a pivotal moment? I know I think it was Rachel Bermoy, and she said she kind of had like an epiphany moment where she was like, yep, I need to start my business. What was it for you?
I think it was when it became clear when I was working within the accounting firm that we wanted to go into two very very different directions, and then it finally gave me the freedom in terms of running a business in a way that I see the most value being generated for everybody who is associated with the business.
And your why, Andreas? What would that be?
It's to a very large extent. I think I'm a deep believer that everybody can achieve financial freedom and financial independence when making the right decisions at the right time. And to some extent, I see a lot of wasted opportunity and a lot of wasted possibilities and basically wasted opportunities with a lot of people. And you think you could have been, if you had just done this a little bit different,
Yes,
you could have been in such a much better position than what you're in now. And I think it's this whole thing around education, and you don't know what you don't know.
true.
And simple small changes can lead to fantastic outcomes.
Very, very true. And Andreas, if you look at your business now, if you think back to that first year, what's changed in the way that you lead?
I think the team has grown from when we first started out, and the leadership component and is probably the hardest bit of running a business.
I agree.
Because everybody comes to you. There's no middle management in a small business. So
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it comes down to very clear communication and expectations, and setting goals, and working on achieving a common vision and mission for what we want to do, what we want to get clients to. And then I think the other thing what's important is also celebrating the wins.
Definitely.
No matter what it is, like client wins or wins that staff members have, or live events, or anything that like. So I think that's quite important.
I think something I underestimated with leadership is that you are constantly on display. Like I used to work for the airline, right? You have to walk up and down the cabin and you're constantly on display. And I was like, it's exactly the same because no matter what you do, whether you're at a networking event or whether you're on a call with your team or whatever it is, you are constantly on display. How do you manage that?
I think it's probably a hard thing, but it comes down to having the right people around you in your team, and then also being able to show them that you're not just their boss. You're also like a person.
Yes.
I think that's
important.
It makes a big difference.
Yes.
So I think that's how we sort of deal with it.
And what's one challenge in running a financial, advisory firm that most people never see, besides leadership?
I think it's the underlying compliance burden that and the red tape that we have to go through. I think that's often underestimated in terms of what that actually means.
And what does that mean, Andreas? Is that when you try and, have a plan for someone, there's a lot of red tape in that, do you mean? Or
yeah, it's the basically a compliance document. So when you think about it, a simple plan is 100 pages. Like that, how many who reads that? Whereas the relevant sections, you could probably condense this down to less than 5 pages.
Yeah, right.
And the rest is additional comparisons and most of the stuff that the clients see relatively little value in, but it takes a lot of time and effort to actually put all this information together.
And so you started your business in 2022, and like I say, in 3 years, you've built such a successful business. What do you believe has been the core reason for that? Do you feel it's one thing, or do you feel there's maybe a few things that have led to that?
I think some of it is I'm really passionate about what I do.
Yes.
So I think that has certainly contributed to
and
this.
And it does show.
the other things are, so we've basically, when I started the business, I bought some clients out of the accounting firm, so we had a decent base in terms of starting. So most of our basic business comes from referrals these days. I think that's what has contributed to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And what has been a highlight over those 3 years?
I think there's been a few.
The wins that you mentioned, if you're happy to share.
Big wins. I think one of them is finally committing on getting a website and
yes,
stuff
amen
done.
to that. I'm very happy.
so that took a very long time to get this. I think it's also growing the business in terms of client numbers, growing the business in terms of staff numbers, seeing clients being able to retire with the amount of money they would like to retire with.
Yeah, that's huge.
So they're great wins, and that always it gives me immense pleasure to see when people succeed financially.
So having known what you know now, would you still start your business in 2022? I know it's still a short time, but yeah, it sounds like a lot's happened over those 3 years.
I would say yes. So
Yeah.
so I think I'm probably a terrible employee.
Me too.
So I think I would still start this all over again.
Yeah, I think I mentioned on a few episodes ago, you have quite a different perspective when you're in the main driver's seat as opposed to when you were employed.
Yeah.
100%. Sorry, Rodney, again. What is some of the myths when it comes to financial advisory that you wish you could wipe off the internet?
There is a lot of those Facebook, Instagram, TikTok websites around that basically over promise and under deliver in terms of outcomes.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big issue that people fall for this. And if that would have been gone, that would be quite nice.
I have said before, that was one of the reasons I started this podcast, because there's so much fluff out there. And it can be so misleading, especially like if it's your business or your finances. You might see a few videos. I guess, of course, do your research. But someone might go down a completely different path if they do follow that fluffy advice. So that's why I was like, I have to start this podcast to really showcase what it is when it comes to wealth or branding or being a business owner, because again, that fluff is not healthy.
No, it is really not, and a lot of that stuff is essentially there's no foundation behind it. And a lot of those people that put out this content, they don't hold a financial services license. They have no qualifications sitting behind them. It's purely for show and to make a quick sale or a quick buck, and then move on with their lives to the next scam or the next thing.
Yeah, and on that note of showing off, I'd love to know your thoughts on entrepreneurs that do, show their Lamborghini that they shouldn't have bought, or they showcase their 25 trips that are perhaps on their credit card. What's your thoughts on that kind of content?
Look, there's nothing wrong with spending money.
Yeah.
It's just like how much should you be spending, and how much would you how much are you willing to share this with the internet?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're if you have a Lamborghini and you're doing really well, that's great.
Yeah.
But what we find a lot is the clients who drive the worst cars have actually significantly more money than the clients who drive the shiny new things.
So true. I should have kept my Mazda too. Andreas, it just come to mind, there's that expression, don't chase money. Money isn't the be all and end all of happiness. What's your take on that?
No, it's certainly not. Money will come over time. I found this myself when I built up when I started building the business. Is that you don't get rich overnight, and
No.
the money in itself doesn't make you happy.
No.
It is essentially what you do with the money and how that money impacts the people around you, your family, your friends, and how you help, like for example, like giving to charities or anything that like.
And on the note of charities, what's your advice there? Because I think a lot of business owners, they feel they start their business and they should straight away give to a charity. I guess what would your advice be there?
So with like charitable donations, it is quite an important thing, and as a country we're quite generous in terms of giving to charities.
I think you might have shared that with me before. Yes, yeah.
And with that, there are sort of different ways on how to give money and have a positive impact on society, or have a business that has a positive impact. We basically, or we have done a few years ago. We essentially stopped sending out Christmas gifts, Christmas cards, anything they like, and instead we basically used that money to make a charitable donations.
Oh, I love that idea.
Every year, because let's just face it, we all got houses full of stuff,
and how many branded pens,
and branded pens and mugs and God knows what. So if it goes into the bin anyways, let's just put this to like a good cause and make a difference somewhere.
And then do you share that with your clients?
Yes, so we share that. So we over the last few years we've always donated to the Royal Flying Doctor Service.
Great.
Because we have a few clients that are rural, based in Karratha, Port Hedland, Broome, and so on, and they provide a very valuable service to those communities.
And Andreas, how do you define financial freedom for yourself?
So for myself, I would say not having to work for money anymore. I think if I one day I hope to get to this position where there's enough in terms of investment assets, so I don't have to go to work anymore.
Yes. Well, you've achieved so much in 3 years. I have no doubt you're going to get there.
Yeah, one day. I'm still young. So.
Yeah. What is a surprising or unconventional investment that you think more people should consider, or at least understand?
I think the moment it makes a good barbecue conversation, it's the wrong investment.
We'll have to make that into a short. Why do you say that? Is it just
So generally people talk about when you're looking at cryptocurrency or anything they like, they talk about their huge wins.
Actually, yes, I spoke about this in the sauna the one time. Yeah.
So but they never share how much money they actually lost with it.
Right.
And when you look back, boring investments like shares, they always work in the long term, or real estate. At the moment, everybody tries to get back onto the real estate train. There's increase in housing prices. Nobody knows how long this is going to run.
No.
But the moment it makes a good conversation at the barbecue, it's usually not a great investment. Or speculative mining shares is the same thing.
And Andreas, if someone is thinking of potentially buying some shares, of course, besides seeing you guys, what would be your advice there? Because I know there's a lot of hype around crypto and a few other various things.
What's always worthwhile looking at is diversification. Not putting all your eggs in one basket, not getting too much exposure in one sector. I know generally, if you're making a bet, essentially it can work out really well.
Yes.
But it also can work out the exact opposite way.
True.
And then the other thing is don't invest any money you're not prepared to lose.
Yeah, great advice. I guess it's like when you go to the casino and you're like black or red, it can either go like either way, right? I mean, I'm the world's worst gambler, but yeah. Was there a moment where you it really stood out for you as to this is why you do what you do? Was it like a client win or was there something that just really made you feel like you're on the right path?
I think during COVID and those first couple of months of COVID when the market absolutely tanked, basically having the message this shall pass as well.
Yeah, I love that expression. This too shall pass.
And the market will recover, and then the market did recover, and then clients didn't sell out because it would be nice to know when to buy and when to sell.
Yeah, of course.
But if I knew that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here. I would be doing something different.
Yeah.
So that like you can't time the market. It's about time in the market, and the same applies to literally any investment that's out there.
And wealth is often linked to someone's identity. How do you help your clients kind of separate, or untangle money from their self-worth?
So I think it's basically starting with looking at how money is managed between a couple or for an individual, and then basically setting some realistic expectations and working towards those.
And I guess with the COVID instance, sorry, I'm bouncing around here, there's obviously such a level of trust that your clients have to have in you when you're saying like, don't sell it, just hang on tight. Yep. How do you establish that trust? Because that's huge. I mean, you help him manage in their livelihood and you're like, don't sell, just hang on. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. So how do you, I'd love to know, because obviously when it comes to business, trust is a huge factor. And I feel like even more so with what you do or branding. How do you kind of navigate through that?
I think the biggest one is consistency. So being there when needed the most, having a framework in terms of how to make decisions, not throwing over an approach today and coming up with something completely different tomorrow. And I think by delivering on promises, I think that's how we build trust.
And also, I guess with wealth and money, a lot of stress can come as a result as well. And how do you help your clients kind of navigate that?
I think the biggest generally the biggest and most stressful years are the years when kids are in private school.
Actually, I've heard this.
Because then it's literally everything. It's mortgage repayment, it's private school fees, it's holidays, it's more private school fees.
Yes.
So they are very stressful. They're very stressful times for most people. So the way we usually navigate this is and that's basically bringing this back to the value sits in having a long-term relationship with someone that actually knows what you're trying to achieve in life.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you cannot plan for. Like, so we always plan for the worst case scenario and then hope for the best. And
Yes.
then you plan for the worst. So basically we can set up education bonds, which they obviously need to be funded, and they need to be funded before kids reach high school, or like high school age usually. So you got around 10, 11, 12 years before that happens.
Yes.
And by making a small sacrifice over this period of time, you generally get into a position where private school fees are not going to be that big of an issue.
Yeah. And again, it's just highlighting how important that planning is, right? So instead of just kind of winging it, really having a plan for your wealth and your life moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andreas, what's something you rarely get asked about but wish you could share more often? Free range, doesn't have to be business related. We can talk about golf.
Don't ask me.
I once hacked the grass.
I think it's how do I get rich quick? I think it's that thing.
Oh yeah.
And the answer is that there's no way like to get rich quick. I mean, some people are lucky. Winning the lottery is generally not a great strategy in terms of wealth accumulation.
No,
chances are pretty low with that.
Yeah.
Or same as the casino is not a great strategy. I think that get asked this quite often. Yeah.
And isn't it funny? Like, I mean, I don't buy lotto very often, but every time you get that ticket, you're like, oh yeah, if I won, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this, and then you're like ever hopeful and nah, didn't you know? I think I won $7 once or something silly. Andreas, what do you wish people were more honest about in the world of finance?
I think it's not like everybody likes to talk about their wins, but nobody talks about their losses.
So true.
And I think it would be great if people were a bit more honest when talking about money they would have also lost, because it comes down to you're portraying an image that is not necessarily true.
Yes, that's a really good point. If I think of like the public speakers I've seen present, like when they share that, you know, the losses or the real hardship, that's when you can just, you know, relate to them so much more because nothing ever works out perfectly.
Yeah. No, nothing ever does. Like it's hard to always win. Like
yes, I mean, I love winning, but yes, it is.
You don't win everything.
No. We can keep trying. But Andreas, you've built a life and a business here in Australia. What does home mean to you now?
So Australia is definitely home, and I think I've been here for a very long time now.
You're the same as me, 2011.
Yeah. So I'm not quite at the half time mark in terms of having spent more time here than having spent in Germany, but I'm not far away of this either. So Australia's home, but I always love to go back to Germany, catching up with family, friends, and doing things in Europe. It's always like a great way to spend some time.
And on that note, I notice you do travel a lot. What do you find, you know, traveling? Do you kind of just like to break away every now and then, or what does it do for you in terms of being a business owner? Yeah,
I think when running a business, it's a high pressure job, and I generally I don't count work hours or anything that I like, but what I make like an active effort is to take 2 weeks off over Christmas.
Great.
Nobody wants to talk to us over Christmas anyways. Like nobody wants to talk about finances over Christmas.
I'm going to show to my water. Yeah.
And then also go away, probably take another 3 to 4 weeks during the year.
Great.
Because I think it's good to have a break from it all. And then I kind of I always find like if I do something within Australia, you're still a bit, you're still very accessible.
Pretty much.
So that's why we generally go overseas, and then it feels like you're leaving a bit of a distance between work, home, and all the stuff that's going on here, and you're going into a completely different environment.
And that doesn't stress you out more?
It like, can you ever switch off completely?
Yeah, that was my next question.
The answer is no, but
Yeah.
it is like it is essentially one of the one of the points on that sort of growth agenda for the business is to eventually get into a position where I can go away for 2 weeks and I don't need to check the phone and emails and all this sort of stuff, where like the team here can take care of what is coming through in terms of inquiries and things to do.
I actually, I think I was listening to a podcast and they spoke about this very thing about not being able to switch off when you are on holiday. Because if you're employed, right, you want to switch off the minute you finish work. And I can't remember which one it was, but they said, as business owners, we then kind of beat ourselves up because we can't switch off. And this person was like, it's your passion. You love what you do. So it's natural to not switch off and just kind of lean into it. And I was like, oh, that's really refreshing, because normally it's like you're supposed to go on your holiday, switch off, don't look at anything, don't even think about business. But it's humanly impossible, right?
Yeah, it is impossible. Like, because it's always like it's always there. Like it's always right there.
It's like on your shoulder, like a bird. Like it's just like there.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be a weight. Like
it's very light,
becomes
light
a weight,
bird.
if it becomes a weight, then it's different. But,
yeah, of course.
Like it's like it comes down to how hard is it to go to work and to actually like do your job at work, and I love what I'm doing.
Yes.
So I think that's one of I think that's I feel like I'm very privileged in that sort of sense, because
Great.
I know a lot of people, they go to work because they got family commitments, they got bills to pay, and they don't necessarily love what they're doing, but their purpose behind work is different.
Yeah.
So switching off and getting out of this environment probably becomes significantly more important than what it does for me.
Yeah, makes sense. Andreas, looking ahead, what impact do you hope the Work 3D Wealth will have on your clients and the industry?
I hope that we get all of our clients into a position where they're financially independent, and they don't rely on income from their jobs anymore to fund their lifestyles. I think that's one of the key factors in terms of impact on the industry. We try and like uphold and uphold the standards and be on the forefront when it comes down to compliance requirements and in industry standards.
I was actually really taken at a brand photo shoot that we did for you guys. Your team, you can see that they really look up to you, and they're very aligned with like what the vision and mission of your business is. I find it really interesting because that doesn't always happen. Like there's always, I think as a leader, that's a true testament to you, because I think it doesn't always happen that way. And sometimes team kind of become their own, like, they do their own thing in that. But I could just see there was such alignment with the three of you. It's really great to see.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. So we put a lot more time into who are we actually hiring, who do we let into the team, as opposed to we're not chasing bumps on seats anymore. So it's the focus has changed, and from a growth perspective, if we cannot find the right staff, to grow the business, I much rather have a lower have a lower growth rate as opposed to getting the wrong people into the business.
That's such a great point, because I think, well, from experience, bringing the wrong people on board can definitely have quite a negative impact on like everything.
It causes more headaches than it does good. Yeah.
And it's costly. 100%. Andreas, if you could go back to your 13-year-old self when you first bought those shares, what's one bit of advice you give yourself and why?
I think is when I look back, I don't have any sort of regrets in terms of how I've done things and how the decisions I've made. Maybe like by the US tech companies.
Yeah.
That would have probably been one of them, buying video shares.
Yes. Andreas, any final words of wisdom when it comes to our wealth for our audience?
Continuity is one of the most important things in terms of building up wealth. It takes a long time to see to make a change, and then also to see for change to come through. And don't be afraid to ask for help.
And I guess there might be some people, who are kind of feeling like it's too late. Do you ever feel like it ever is? I mean, if you've still got, you might be, 65. I mean, is there always kind of options, right?
So time is definitely of the essence. So and it goes back to compounding. Like small decisions now or small sacrifices now will have a very different effect in 30 years, in 40 years. And potentially if you're 60 or 65, and there's no such thing as a miracle when it comes to financial advice. The sacrifices that need to be made are significantly bigger in order to achieve the same outcome as for a 40-year-old or 35-year-old today. So I think that's what's important to keep in mind.
And Andreas, where is the best place for our listeners to go should they wish to connect with you?
LinkedIn is a great place, or our new website.
Yes, up and coming. No pressure, Tracy.
Up and coming. No, none at all.
Sharon, hurry up. Andreas, thank you so much for today. I'm very glad I harassed you to come on the podcast.
Thank you.
I don't say this lightly. I think you're definitely a business owner who is growing something really, really awesome. And I think you're so humble as well. It's really nice to see.
Thanks, Tracy.
Yeah, thank you so much. Chat soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.